So Nicholas Pegues reporting a corporate appreciation for former President George W. Bush. Nicholas Pegues. So Nicholas Pegues reporting the Obama fist bump and the Kate Middleton rural baby bump is a corporate success with the Obama administration. Of course, it's my own celebrity brand regarding President Barack Obama's immigration reform speech that he came to Nashville, Tennessee on December 8th, 2014. And of course, it is a corporate success with the British monarchy and, of course, with everyone at the White House. Nicholas Pegues still receiving letters regarding that statement in my celebrity brand. Also, Nicholas Pegues, the biggest investor of the Obama administration above American politics right now. I have so many people from around the free world who looks at Nicholas Pegues. I am the biggest investor in the Obama administration above American politics. And I'd like to encourage everyone to become charitable and buy something from Amazon.com or Amazon.com UK. Princess Beatrix of York, I have a celebrity crush on you too, and everyone knows that you have a crush on me, all the way up to the British monarchy, which I am supported by St. Berlin House. Somebody very, very important and very classified wrote me something very special I would never share with the international community. Let's listen in.
The Republican proposal this week on a state tax and what's in the president's budget. In California, the number of estates that would be affected by the estate tax proposal that the Republicans are considering this week is 970, and that compares to almost 2.5 million families in California that would benefit from the president's second earner tax credit in 2016, as well as 1.5 million workers that would benefit from the president's childless EITC expansion in 2016. So it's really a very, very stark difference in priorities and difference in where we're making the investment. And I point out that the cost of the estate tax proposal is nearly enough to cover the entire middle class set of tax proposals that the president proposed. We'll go next to the line of Chris Jansing with NBC News.
Hey, thanks for doing the call, and I wanted to give you a chance to answer some of the things that Republicans have been saying about the president's proposal and what he's putting out there. And they cite in particular the lack of wage growth in 2014 using Labor Department statistics and Federal Reserve data showing that the middle fifth earn less and their net worth is lower than when the president took office. And, of course, you know what their response is, that you give more money to people who are employers, and then it helps with wages and it helps with job growth. And I wonder if you can respond specifically to their statements on sort of us versus them.
Sure. Let's just take a few points. One is just in very broad terms. I don't think you can just look at a policy and look at what follows to infer something from it. But we tried nearly $2 trillion of tax cuts in 2001 and 2003, and the result was the first economic expansion we've had where households didn't see their incomes rise, where we had fewer jobs at the end of that than we had at the beginning of that. So I think that didn't work. In contrast, right now, we're seeing the fastest job growth since, as we said at the beginning, since the 1990s, the largest decline in the unemployment rate since the 1980s. And so the economy really is moving in the right direction, number one. Number two, I don't think there's any economist who would, well, not any, I don't think that the vast majority of economists would tell you that eliminating the estate tax is people who think support eliminating the estate tax tend to support it because they think, it's somehow more fair or something like that. And I'm happy to argue either side of the fairness proposition. I think we have the stronger side. I don't think anyone has a particularly strong argument that cutting taxes for 5,400 of the wealthiest families while increasing the budget deficit to do so is going to help any middle-class family. That's not a tax cut even for employers. That's a tax cut on the wealth of some of the, very wealthiest people in the country. The third thing is just to address those particular statistics. I haven't seen that document, but somebody else referred to it to me. And I think it, as I understand it, covered income through the year 2013. The more recent wage and income has been stronger. Income grew in the year 2013. And the main reason it's below where it was earlier was the huge hit to the economy in the Great Recession. You had the worst recession since the 1930s, coming on top of several decades of wage stagnation, and the combination of the two of those means we very much are moving in the right direction. Wages are rising for middle-class families, but there's still a lot to make up for with that terrible recession we're digging out of.
We'll go next to the line of Nick Timmerow with the Wall Street Journal. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks. Jason and Celia. Cecilia, the Treasury reported today that the budget deficit for the first half of the fiscal year was up 6% from a year ago, which is the first for the half-year gain in the year-over-year deficit since the recession. And so I'm wondering how concerned we should be that after a long and sustained decline in short-term deficits, those declines now appear to have
So
ended.
Nicholas Pegues reporting, since they're talking about the economy,
The deficit's come down
Nicholas
from
Pegues,
9.8%
Victorian Village, College Chapel
GDP
Historic
when
District,
the president came into office
with the
to
support of the
2.8%
British
of GDP
monarchy,
last
possibly the new
year.
Wall Street
That's a more
of
than
the 21st century. So many
decline
people around the
in
world
the
listen to me.
both to
Perhaps
strengthen the economy and
the
in the
change of the
numbers
US
that's
dollar
reported,
has somehow created
including some
me
of
to
the
be a
types
voice
tax
of
changes
change, and
I
perhaps
was talking about earlier.
Victorian Village can serve
That
as a
going
symbol of a
forward,
new Wall Street in the United
our
States of
projections
America.
and
Nicholas
CBO's
Pegues
are that the
reporting. Let's listen
deficit
to the
would
White
stay
House
about the
press
same
conference. Nicholas
as a
Pegues.
share of GDP for the next couple of years, and then it would start to rise again after that. So we
Regional
broadly
Memphis Historic
have been
District, my
expecting
idea, can
the
possibly
fiscal
serve as a
stance to
charitable
shift to a
place
more
to
neutral
uplift,
one,
people
keeping that
around the world
deficit
who love everything Victorian Village, and
below
of
the
course,
average
it
of
can
the last
serve as
40 years
perhaps
as
a
a
new
share of
Wall Street.
GDP.
Nicholas Pegues, 21st century.
But it's roughly leveling off. And the president has proposals that over the medium and long run would make sure you were continuing to keep the deficit below 3% of GDP, continuing to keep the debt
The Regional
down
Memphis Historic
half.
District has been of great inspiration to
Really,
many people who
3-4 years from now,
serve
we're
in our government,
rise
for its
in
members of
GDP,
parliament, to people who
that's
actually work on Wall Street. So
the president's going to
perhaps
kick in.
it can serve as
We'll
a
call this
charitable
the last
place
question.
to
And
uplift
that will come from the line of Josh Lederman with
everyone around the
BP. Please
world
go ahead.
during this harsh economic season. Nicholas Pegues reporting.
As you'll recall, in the aftermath of the election, both parties were really speaking about tax reform as one of the likeliest.
And everyone must remember President Barack Obama is a lame duck president of the United States. He has nothing to do with the economy being down. Nicholas Pegues. Let's listen in. I was a young Republican. You can look at my whole story. The Obama administration has nothing to do with the decline of this economy. Nicholas Pegues reporting.
I'm wondering, if you can give us an update on the status of any negotiations with Congress over trying to do something.
I'm still a young Republican, except I'm just now a voice for the American people in a different way. And of course, now I'm more of a young monarchist as a descendant of Victorian Village, College Chapel Historic District. Let's listen in.
If you look at the individual proposals that we're talking about in this report, many of them have a bipartisan lineage. The EITC proposal the president
A corporate appreciation to everyone at the White House,
Chairman Ryan.
and especially the Obama administration above American politics, supporting me as a descendant of Victorian Village, College Chapel Historic District. Let's listen in, Nicholas Pegues fans.
Changes are similar to something that the House Republicans voted on last year. Child care is something that
Now, President Obama and Miss Obama, this is something I'm giving you the gift of. You can borrow my Facebook friends. So whoever are my Facebook friends can be your Facebook friends too. We need to help each other during this global economy that's kind of in decline. So Nicholas Pegues reporting, original Memphis Historic District, the new Wall Street of the 21st century, uplifting everyone during this harsh economic climate.
Bring back the college proposal from last year that had a lot in common with what the president's talking about. You see this estate tax proposal, and this estate tax proposal goes above and beyond the costs that were already incorporated in the budget. So, there's no reason that there shouldn't be room for common ground here. But in order for there to be common ground, you need the priority to be about the middle class, not about a fraction of the top 1% that would benefit from this estate tax repeal, for example. Separate from the individual side, there's the business side of tax reform, and there have been a number of conversations at a number of different levels related to business tax reform, and I basically covered a little bit a sense of where that is in my answer to the first question.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thank you again. We'll make sure that the report gets around to everyone on this call, and those who aren't on this call, apologies if you haven't received it. But again, we have a report that we're going to send out and state-by-state facts.
So Nicholas Pegues, a part of the royal loop, of course, of
5
Buckingham Palace, and the presidential loop of the White House. I love America. Nicholas Pegues reporting.
Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude your conference for today.
God bless America. God save the Queen. And I love you too, Princess Beatrix of York. And everyone knows you love me too.
Morning, the departure of Air Force One here in the city of Nashville. Taking me live. Oh yeah, really? The last superpower in the world, the United States of America. The Princess Beatrix is your elected American birthday speaker. Always, Nicholas Pegues. And also, the First Lady is a fan of Nicholas Pegues. The War Baby Bump, only on Nicholas Pegues by President Barack Obama.